today is a very special day because we have two, not just one, but two DJs from different parts of the world. Hello, everyone, and welcome to AfriConnect, the show where we try to connect African Americans to Africans through culture, experiences, and so much more. And today is a very special day because we have two, not just one, but two DJs from different parts of the world. And I will introduce them and let them introduce themselves as well. We first have Abi Bayo, and he is actually Nigerian but lives in the UK, which is very interesting. And then we have Harvey Nunes, who's from America, but has traveled many places. So, Bayo, I'll let you start with you and tell me a little bit about who you are, how you started from Nigeria, went to UK, and started the whole DJ experience.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks a lot, Keenan. So, thanks for the introductions once again. So, I'm DJ Bio. I'm based in London, UK. I'm originally from Nigeria. Been here about going to 27 years now. So, I'm kind of like in the diaspora, like one of the biggest African DJs in the UK.
Wow.
Representing Nigeria. Yeah, and so I've been DJing for about 25 years. So I'm still new in the game, but 25 years straight. And I started off initially from R&B hip hop, being a break dancer at the age of 4, 5. So I grew up in that hip hop era.
Mm.
And obviously, so I'm quite a versatile DJ. I play reggae, soca, R&B, hip hop, then Afro beats as well, which is what I've been specializing in for the past couple of years now. So yeah, I'm still versatile like that still, but as far as I still rock the party, that's what matters. So yeah, thanks for the
I find that
introduction.
interesting. I heard you say, I don't know if I heard it correctly, that you said, and I'm starting to specialize in Afrobeat, which the assumption would be, since you're Nigerian, that's what you would start with. But you
Yeah,
did.
yeah. No, we didn't because Ni Nigeria Nigeria is kind of like the blueprint of the US. So if like a new song gets introduced in the US today, believe me or not, it's in
Wow.
Nigeria tomorrow for some reason. So
Wow.
yeah, so we grew up in like westernized music, like the souls, the R&Bs, and most of like the R&B soul artists used to visit Nigeria in the 80s. And me
Mm,
as a little kid, I was the likes of Kool and the Gang, the likes of Temptation to Whispers,
nice.
Ralph Cameron, people like that, Evelyn King. So they visited Nigeria in the 80s. So it was that gradual progression. And I'll say about 10 years, we had the explosive of Afrobeats movement. And where we are now, that biggest artists are selling out arenas, even in the US, in Canada. So yeah, it's a good look for African music right now.
And that's, very interesting because being from, I don't know, Harvey, if you've heard that, but being an African American and all the people you listed being African Americans, I never heard one thing about them going over to Africa. Never ever heard the media cover them going
Yeah,
over to Africa.
yeah,
I'm not saying they didn't. I'm glad to hear it, but I'm like, that's
yeah,
interesting to me that I never heard
yeah, yeah.
that so many of them. And they do it now, but you're talking about 30 what years ago?
Yeah, 80s, 90s, the likes of
Wow.
The likes of Shabaranks.
Wow.
Yeah, they visited Nigeria as well, and loads of artists. And so I'll say Nigeria is kind of like a blueprint of the US, music-wise, entertainment-wise, and
Mm.
most of the new cats as well from the US. They visited Nigeria at some point. They liked the Cardi B, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, even Jay-Z, Beyonce as well. They visited Nigeria
Yeah.
as well.
I
Yeah,
think I did hear that, but I guess it's got to be big, big, big star. But I don't
I
know. But
know.
I'm glad to know that more African Americans have made the trek because
Yeah,
it was had one of the things that when I went, I just came back myself and went. That's how
yeah,
Dio and I met, and
yeah.
it was funny for me to keep hearing American songs, but all I wanted to do was hear African songs. And I go
Uh,
there and I go to a talent show and I hear them singing American, even Adele. So it wasn't even African
yeah.
American, it would be something like Adele, and I'm like, what? So yeah,
Tell me
it's
about
kind of a
it.
funny cultural mix that
Yeah,
it's like whichever country you're not from, that's the more exciting country, I guess, or something.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know. Okay, well, Harvey, can you do us the same favor and share a little bit about yourself and how you got started and what you want to share for your beginning?
Absolutely. And first off, thank you for having us on, Kenan. We appreciate your work, and I just admire you going to Africa, look like by yourself, and you've been hanging out there and came back, and now you're back in the States. So thank you for doing what you're
One
doing.
minute, just for 1 minute.
Yeah, just for 1 minute.
1 minute.
But just exposing, it's amazing how they say each one teaches one.
Mm,
And by you doing that, you free someone else's spirit to want to do it as well. Maybe
okay,
mine
thank you.
today. So thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you.
Um, as far as me DJing, yes, I've been DJing for hard to say, but over 40 years.
Wow.
I started back in 1982, and I'm born in Jamaica, West Indies, came here in the late 60s to the States. So I've seen the entire transition of music. I was raised in Jersey and then moved to DC, but a lot of my upbringing was in Jersey as far as the music wise. I started DJing birthday parties. Like, my brother had a little setup, one turntable and a cassette deck, and he had a mixer. And when he wasn't home, I would just play with it and see if I could match beats. And
Mm,
being so close to New York, of course, you hear everything. You
hmm
hear, jazz, you hear hip hop, you hear house music, you hear so many different influences that it all melded into my spirit. And one of my best friends was from the Bronx. So, of course, he turned me on to Cold Crush tapes, and that sparked my fascination in hip hop. So, I literally came up in the hip hop era. I've won
mm,
DJ contests for scratching and mixing. And I also do house parties where we just do house music all night. So when you're from that New York, New Jersey area, you have to have that combination of the hip hop sense, the house music sense, and just popular music. And a lot of the music is broken first. It used to be broken first in New York, and now
mm.
kind of like what y'all were just talking about. I just came back from Panama. I was in Colombia for a little bit, and I noticed they go so hard on our music. There was like songs I haven't heard yet here. They're rocking on the beach there.
Really?
So when we say the U.S. is the blueprint, it literally is the blue. We have no idea how much power we have, and we're sitting on it. But that's
Yeah, I
what
mean,
started in
that's
me.
interesting you say it that way because as power. Because I see it as probably because I'm not a musician, I deal with entertainment, but I'm not like say a singer or DJ. So I see it kind of like this big broader sense. And I feel like sometimes as I'm traveling, I'm like, you guys know there's the rest of the world. There's not just America. Because
Hmm.
like you said, we are the blueprint, but I feel like it leaves so much on the table. Like there's so much more out there. And I guess that's what
Hmm.
I guess my thing is like how much more have I not been exposed to? And how much more
Hmm.
have I mean, I'm from Washington, D.C., and Harvey, like you said, you're from New Jersey slash New York, and our thing is go-go,
Right,
right? So it's go-go
right.
there and the house music in Baltimore, a little bit further up, it'll be the house music. And sometimes if you don't travel, that's all you listen to.
You don't know.
You
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
hear
I don't
anything
know.
else. And
Right.
back in, I mean, now that we're aging ourselves, back with radio,
You're right.
you really limited because it's whatever they decided to play. Now, at least with the digital, you get more exposure. But I do think it tends to be whatever what can I say? Your mind has been open to. Like, so if you haven't had anyone say, hey, what about this music? What about that? I mean, when I went
Right.
to Africa, I was just enjoying any kind of music. I didn't care what it was. I just
Right.
Mm.
enjoyed the idea that it was something different from me and um special. So I guess my next question would be, what kind of accomplishments do you feel? I mean, in this entertainment industry, if you don't get an award, sometimes you can feel like, oh, I haven't done it yet. But I have come to learn, as we have all been, you stay in the game, you're winning because it's a hard game. It's not an easy game. And so, what do you feel like your biggest accomplishments are in terms of what you've done so far, or that you're just proud of? It doesn't even have to be, anything particular.
Who first?
Okay, I'll let Bio go again.
Me? Okay, okay. I'll say I've had loads of accomplishments, DJ wise. About 13 years ago now, there was like an African awards night that was hosted in New York called the NEA, so
I heard
Nigerian
that.
Entertainment Awards. Yeah, and
Mhm.
I got the world's best DJ. That was my first time being nominated,
Nice.
and I won. And there are some notable names on that were nominated as well, and I came tops of it. Just like a budding DJ from the UK winning an award in the US that I'd never been to New York then, apart from when I was younger. And
Mm,
so that was one of my accomplishments. Another accomplishment of mine, Kenan, is having been able to host my own like mini concert in Nigeria, all the way from the UK. So I had one this past December in Nigeria called Live in Las Gidi, and it was quite good. I had the top DJs, both UK and Nigeria, on board for that event. So I'll say it was kind of like an accomplishment, being that I don't live in Nigeria, but I was
mm.
able to host an event in Nigeria, all the way from here. So I'll say that was a proud moment of myself to see people turn up for me and have fun and stuff. So yeah, I'll say that was my main
Now, do you
most
have, I
recent
guess,
achievement.
family or friends that help you connect, or you just kind of make your own connections?
Yeah, so basically, friends that I grew up with, some have moved back to Nigeria as well. So I kind of like maintain that network of friends,
Hmm.
and also people that, during my career as a DJ that have seen me play in the 25 years of DJing, that have moved back home as well. I was able to reconnect with them, and they were like, "Oh, Bayer's in town. He's having an event for this day. Come around, just for everyone to have fun." So that was like an accomplishment for myself, being that, I was not on ground, but I was still able to, pull it off successfully.
Yes.
So that's an achievement for myself. Yeah.
Okay. And Harvey, what about you?
My greatest accomplishment, I'm going to say, hasn't happened yet
Oh, okay.
because I've had so many great moments that I'm prepping myself for the next great moment. And that's
Hmm.
just how I look at it because it's not like a finish line to this.
Mm,
We're still in progress. It's about legacy. So everything is
Yep.
still in progress. But my greatest feeling that I get from it is the response of the repeat clients that keep calling me
Yep.
back. And I don't really advertise. So to get repeat clients and new clients and the feeling that they just get so excited when they know you're coming, to me, that's the greatest feeling that people are already hyped because you're going to be there and they're looking forward to your performance.
hmm.
So to me, doing Club Zanzibar in New Jersey back in the day to Zanzibar here in Washington, D.C.
Wait, there's a Zanzibar in New Jersey?
Is there a Zanzibar, New Jersey? That's the first one. Are you kidding?
Okay, I didn't know that one. All right.
Club Zanzibar is like legendary.
Oh, okay.
It's like one of the home of house music. So you had
Wow.
dudes like Tony Humphries and Merlin Bob and all these, special remix. If you look at a lot of people's remixes, the DJs from Zanzibar were the ones doing remixes for Madonna,
Okay.
David
Wow.
Morales, and so that type of exposure for me, and always being like one of the highest points was probably being flown out to LA. And I was working with BET because I was also a producer with Black Entertainment Television back in the day. And they flew me out to California to do the Celebrity All-Star game. It was a basketball game, and having Master P and Snoop Dogg and Kanye
Wow.
West showed up. And, I'm on the turntables doing the music for all these celebrities of hip hop. I think, that one kind of stands out to me. But again, it's all
Yeah.
about legacy. It's all about the
Yeah.
journey. And I want the next party to be better than the last party. And that's always my mindset. I'm going in to crush your house. I'm going in to crush your gym. So by the time the end of the night comes around, I want you sweating so bad that it's like, I'm glad we got that guy.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
to take
Well,
my shoes off.
it's interesting you said a few sentences ago you said the word performance. And sometimes I think we forget you guys aren't just putting something on, pushing the button, and you actually are performing. You're practicing,
Yeah.
you're making sure whatever you do works, and you're making sure people are happy when you're on stage,
Yeah.
behind your DJ stand. So it's
Mm.
not just a, I guess, hired spot. It is a
No.
performance. It is a skill set. I'll be in complete disclosure. I tried it once. I was putting
Really?
on a well, don't get impressed. I was putting on a event and I couldn't find a DJ. So this is Harvey knows me. This is my personality. Let's see what happens. So I I put on the headsets. I put one thing down. I put another thing. And I was like, so I made them intermix. But I realized it's not just about, okay, cut one off and put one on and slide it, because I know enough about sliders and whatever. It was still about when you put it on, when you mix
Mhm.
it, what makes you want to feel like, because I've been to parties and I'm like, you know what, you can't drastically change me from bam, bam to really slow and or maybe
Right,
a mix or a lull in between your things,
right.
a pause, you dancing, all of a sudden you gotta wait for the next. I
It
mean,
is not. It is not
But
as
you're right,
easy as
man.
it looks. It is not as
yeah,
easy
it's
as it
not
looks.
at all. It's not
You
at
know,
all.
it is a true connection
Yeah.
with the room, with your sound,
Hmm.
with your music, and having all that going on at the same time. They say DJing is like you're living in two worlds
Yeah.
Hmm.
because you're living in the world of the song that's playing now, but you're preparing the song that's going to come next, and you have 3 minutes and 20 seconds to do it. The average song
Okay.
is around between 320 and 250. So you have to make a decision. And this is why DJing is so, I try to teach it, I try to instill it in young people because it's the ultimate decision making process. You
Yeah.
have to know what you want to do in less than 3 minutes, set it up, match the beat, and bring it in so the crowd doesn't feel thrown off.
And that's a good
At the
question. So
right
are
time.
you practicing ahead of time? Okay, when I play this song, I'm gonna hit it there, or is it just something you feel? You know, what I mean, is it something,
It's both because you see my
But
stuff set up in the back.
right?
I keep it set up all the time because I just don't walk into a party and like, all right, let's do something. I I literally have conversations with the client way before we even do anything
yeah,
because I
Yeah.
want to know what their tastes are, and then I match their taste with my tastes. And now when the people come in the room, they may have different tastes.
Hmm.
yeah,
So it's constantly DJing is the constant to me, the great connector. It is a social science of being able to look at a room, whether they're black, white, Asian, Spanish, and
yeah,
capture the audience that's there. I don't have the best. I don't have to be the best DJ in the world. I have to be the best DJ for this room
True.
tonight,
yeah.
Yeah.
tonight,
True.
and what they want to hear. And I'm sure that what I'm saying, Bio. Yeah, the same thing. It's like you got to do
Yeah, yeah,
that.
you hit the nail on the head, Harvey. And just to add to that point as well is about doing your homework before, as you rightly mentioned, and
Mhm.
also like the crowd determines like the mood of the night or the mood of the gig.
Mm.
You might be prepared, you might have gotten your playlist, you might have, spoken to the client, but if the crowd are not feeling it, obviously you have to improvise and, so is the crowd, that's why I tell DJs at times, younger DJs that even though you might love some type of music, but most importantly is the crowd. Try to entertain the crowd, put your soul into it and ensure that at least the crowd is feeling you. As far as they're feeling you, trust me, you'll be getting, all those gigs coming through, your meals the next day and stuff. So yeah,
And I
that's
wondered,
very important.
I talk to entertainers all the time, and because if you give that energy you're just talking about, bio, you're
Yeah,
giving of yourself. So
yeah,
but you're not dancing. You guys aren't dancing or singing. But do you feel
yeah.
a sense of exhaustion at the end of the night? Like I really gave it all. I put it out there. You know.
No, if it's a good night and you can see that, people coming to meet you that, nah, man, you took us somewhere else tonight. And you can see, music is a kind of way that, I don't know, it puts a smile on people's faces,
Mhm.
especially. I would say it's a bit therapeutic in
Yeah.
sense that if you know you've done a good job and people come meet you that, nah, man, you slammed it tonight. And there was an instance that a couple, she was meant to give birth the day before a party, and she went into labor, and the baby wasn't coming, and they just ended up coming to the functional DJ night the next day. And they danced on the dance floor. She was heavily pregnant. Her husband was there as well. And I got a call from the client the next day telling me that that couple actually complimented me and gave me a tip that I was the one that sent them to labor that night. that they danced so much at the dance floor that, at the end of the night, she went into labor and she delivered safely a baby boy the next day. So I
That's
was kind of
hilarious.
I was instrumental in that.
They should have named it bio.
I know, right? Those are some effects that DJs have on people,
That's hilarious.
and
I mean, I'm
that's
as a
how I felt.
woman to be in labor, and I'm like, I'm so into the music. That's hilarious.
Nah,
That's
nah.
what I
They
should
called me
have
up.
done.
They called me up and like
That's
the
hilarious.
first birthday of the child, I was opportunity DJ at the first birthday of the child, and
Wow.
that that kind of put a smile on my face, like,
I
oh
kind of
my
wow.
God.
Yeah, that's powerful. I can't touch that
No, I
story.
don't think I don't know if I can top that story. That's pretty heavy.
You brought life to the party, literally.
Literally.
Bring life to the party.
The difference between death and life, and you brought life. That's
You
great.
brought life.
I know, I
That's the
know, I
power of
know.
DJs right there.
That's the power. That was the power.
That's your award, the baby.
I mean, and it's so funny you say that because literally I wrote that down one night. I said, you are the life of the party.
Mm.
Yep.
So you always have to remember that. You're the way
Yeah,
you
you're
feel
right.
going in, you got to put all that behind
Mm-hmm.
and you have to become the life
Right.
of
Yep.
the party. And that night you brought life to the party.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, it
Literally.
gets back to that performance idea. You have to lay down what's bothering you or what's in your head or how you're feeling that day. You don't really feel like doing
Yeah.
it, and go and make everybody else happy and be happy. You can't be back in
Yeah.
the, begrudgingly putting on sounds. You have
No.
to
I
be
know.
happy. You have to give. And I noticed because I learning about bio, but I already know Harvey, but that a certain personality matters. Like you have to be
Yeah.
a friendly personality, someone engaging with people, making them feel happy, and that you're at their service, and that really I think affects the outcome. That's just
Hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes. Mood is everything.
yeah, and I think
And
you guys bring the mood of the party because a party can be dull, like not the right people or the environment or whatever. But when the right music comes on, then the right sequence of music comes on, that
yes.
matters. Because like say if you got a good beat going on, everybody's happy and everybody's running around and having a good time, you want to keep that energy going. So what do I put on
Yeah,
next? Keep the
definitely.
energy going, and do you ever get requests that might upset that energy and you have to do it anyway because it's the host, or have you had that experience?
That's where the experience comes in. I'll say, Alvis, you go. Alvis, let's hear your experience.
Oh my God. You're always going to get requests.
Hmm.
It's just the weirdest thing. I think people, it's just even from kids, because I just did an elementary school party to grown-ups. Everyone is going to come with a request, and
Yeah.
you could be jamming, and everyone's into it, and they'll say, "Can you play this song?" And then you listen to it in your headphone, and you're like, "That is not going to work right now." You got
Right.
to be able to look at the person, and I know my wife cracks up, because I'll look at the person and say, "You know what? I'll see if I could put that on in a little bit." But
Hmm.
knowing in my
Exactly.
head, I'm like, oh, that thing may not come on tonight
At all.
because that's not happening with what's happening on this dance floor. But
Yeah.
everyone wants to have a voice. Everyone wants to have a say. And sometimes I'll take the request and I say, "What's your name?" And then I'll get on the mic and say, "So and so wants to hear so and so song. And it's by them, not me."
You blaming them for this whole problem is their problem.
They
I know,
requested
right?
it. So if you wanted to hear boots on the ground right now, it was Mike.
That's funny. Have you had that similar
Yeah,
experience, bio, where you had somebody request and you had to
yeah.
make it?
Loads of experiences, Kenan, and especially for example, you've got the momentum going, everyone is dancing, and you get a request for Lovers Rock, which is going to slow down the
Oh,
momentum,
okay.
and I'm like,
Mm-hmm,
okay.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That I just politely tell them that okay, I'll put it on later if maybe I play some rare grooves later toward the end of the night. But initially I'll just tell them that yeah, I'll play. I've got in my place. I've got in the works for tonight. So hopefully I get to play later on. But
Yeah.
if I don't get to play, I'll just hide.
It'll be the
Yeah.
departing
So
one. When everybody leaves, you just put it on then. I put it
exactly. So loads of requests are like that, and I'm
on.
like,
Right.
okay, you want us to slow it down? The dance floor is popping, people are dancing, and the energy is high. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, put some Lovers Rock. I'm like, nah, that'll be later, not now.
That's funny. So I had a different kind of thought because I've been to Nigeria. So I'll be, I guess, transparent in the fact
Yeah,
that I was in Nigeria and discovered, I knew Afrobeat before. I've always loved
yeah,
Afrobeat. Okay. But I discovered that fella created it. I did
Yeah.
not know who created it. I always just thought it was a genre, that people just put
yeah,
together. I never thought of it was a single person who started the whole genre. So Fela Kuti
yeah,
is the whole creator and founder
yeah.
of it. And he was recently honored with a Grammy post
Yeah.
I can't
Posthumous. Yeah.
posthumous. I can I say that word posthumous Grammy for his work. And so the funny thing is for me, I'm just one of those people. I love celebrities, but give me a celebrity who has a cause. I'm in love
Yeah.
with you. I just love a celebrity. I don't care. I can see Beyonce, but if Beyonce doesn't have a cause, she's not going to trump someone else who does. And once I
Mm-hmm.
really understood more about Fella, I got the shirt on now. I had such
Mm-hmm.
a love for it. How did you see him getting the Grammy in terms of everything and just in terms of like how Grammys affect music? I mean, it's not just DJ because for me, what you guys play has to be relevant to what people want to hear, right? Um, and I think his music spoke to people in multiple ways, right? It wasn't just a beat, it wasn't just a song. It spoke
Of
to
course.
conditions of what they were going through. And I
Of
don't know how
course.
you feel like music plays into that. That's kind of a not a straight DJ question, but more of a music question. Like, how do you
Yeah.
feel music plays into people's lives and souls and so forth?
Yeah. It's good that you touched on that point, Keenan, especially regarding Fela.
Yeah.
And Fela is a legend. He'll always be a legend, and rightfully, he was awarded the posthumous award at the recent Grammys that we had. And when you talk of music is spiritual,
Mhm.
indeed spiritual. It's just like Bob Marley, the late Bob Marley, for
Yeah.
example.
True.
Like the lyrics of his songs at times, once you sit down, you listen to it, it's quite self-conscious music in sense that you can relate to via maybe, what people are going through at that point in time, what the social demographic nature is around the country at that point in time. So I'll say music does have an impact on that as well. So that's something that Fela did try to portray in
Hmm.
his sounds. Even though the Afro beats instrumentals were there, but still, he still spoke about, the suffering of the people.
Hmm.
He still spoke about, things that were happening at that point in time, which people could resonate with. So, yeah, music is indeed spiritual, just like, most of the reggae artists as well. Like they have that conscious, lyrics to the music,
Yeah.
and it can really get to you once you listen to it properly.
And it's
Mhm.
funny you said Rego because actually Harvey's Jamaican. He's not originally American.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
No, that's
So
true,
you can
but
relate to that, yeah.
I gotta agree that Fela is when I saw the play in New York,
Yeah.
and I
Oh, you
didn't know what
did.
I was going to be
Wow.
exposed to, and you felt the house rhythm, the
Yeah.
house music rhythms, the up tempo beats, and it's just
Yes.
like house music starts at I'd say like 120 beats per minute,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
that's actually the same pace as the way your heart should beat on a regular day at like
Yeah.
120 beats per minute.
Really?
Yeah.
And most people don't realize that
Never heard that before.
that's why there's so much of connection with music
Uh,
and your spirit. And when you
wow.
hear certain things, you wonder why you connect and how other things may turn you off because it's
Mm,
all about vibration.
Yeah. Oh,
mhm.
We
that
are
wow.
vibrational beings.
Okay.
And that's why we connect to this stuff. So Fela, Bob Marley, there's certain artists that just come around and you wonder why there's such a wide pull to their music
Hmm.
is because they're pulling you in from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's interesting. I've never heard anyone compare your heartbeat to music beats.
And even when they're trying to
Wow.
resuscitate you, when they're trying to resuscitate you, if your heart stops, they want you to use that song "Staying Alive," staying alive,
Oh, wow.
staying alive,
Really?
120 beats
Wow.
per minute.
Wow. That's interesting. But I mean it
Wow.
does
I learn something every day, right?
right
We
every
all
day.
learn something.
Thank you, Harvey, for that educational moment. No, but that's very interesting because it does maybe play into why. Because sometimes I go to places, I'm like, it just feels good here. Like when I was in
Hmm.
Africa, and I'm like, I just can't. I just love Afrobeat, and I'm not African.
Yeah.
I'm just in love with a certain pulse,
You
And I
can
Yeah.
feel it.
but I
Right.
think that's the connection, right? The
Yes.
African that connection between African Americans and Africans. We still have, even where we're not in Africa anymore, we have that pulse in our spirit.
Yes.
Speaking of spirit,
Definitely.
and I think that it doesn't die, which because it's generations away from when we were lived there.
Hmm.
And I think that's why you guys connect to our music because the
Yeah,
same
definitely.
thing, because we have that same internal connection, I guess you can call it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I think, I don't know how to say it anyway. I hope one day we can really appreciate each other's connection and
Yeah,
what we
definitely.
bring to the table. Because I still think I don't call it a divide, this might be too strong of a word, but I do feel like there's still not a connection. There's a little bit of a separation. Oh, this is African.
Yeah.
This is African American. This is R&B. But I'm like, it's all kind of one.
It's coming together.
It's one
It's
pulse.
coming together. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're very right,
Yeah.
Alvin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
How do you
coming
feel like
together.
social media is playing into that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I just feel like now with the rise of Afro beats, before that it was like Afro Cuban,
Mm,
Afro Latino, because we're everywhere. We're all over the world.
yeah.
We're the original
Yeah.
people.
Right.
So everywhere you go, we have influence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
and since there's such a large amount of us in this country in America, that's why we still are the creators even here. Our music genres are what sets the tone
Yeah.
because once we come out with something new, everyone else wants to pick off of it.
Right.
Of
Exactly.
course. Of
So
Yeah.
course.
that just goes to show you we are the original people. That's where I wear my African piece to every party I go to.
Really?
Sure.
Because, oh, of course,
That's hilarious.
because it centers me in my spirit.
Mm.
Knowing that, whatever we do, people try to imitate and replicate
Yeah.
because we come from the original DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So understanding the science of sound and frequency and vibration, once you understand it, it's a powerful thing. Being a DJ
Hmm.
is almost like that pastor being on the pulpit
Mm.
Yeah.
in the sense that you're in the center of the room, you're typically up on a stage, and you've got this structure in front of you, and you're sending a message out to the
Wow.
people. And like I
Yeah.
said, the last time we talked, when you can go back and start with this, the original, and then you transition to this, the second thing people were selling, and then you look at this, which is the controller, which is the
Yeah.
digital,
Digital.
which is what people are now playing. It's still about frequency.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the thing about what's happening now is people talking about trap music and people talking about drill music and why it's still a part of our culture.
It is. Yeah, and it's funny you brought up, and it's a good point that no matter what the distribution source is, that
Yeah.
doesn't change.
It's still culture.
Hmm.
So it may be messages that were like, why are they talking about that? Because they're kids.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And what were we talking about? Back in the day, you had to be grown to make a record.
Yeah.
You didn't, you
True.
didn't see a lot of kid artists.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no, 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 no,
That's
no,
why you
no,
didn't
no.
have a lot of kid talk.
right.
So now the evolution of the music, we started raising kids from like Michael Jackson may have been one of the first, Shirley Temple might have been one of the first to come up from a kid star to an
Yeah.
adult star. But that's new. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't always like that.
Like I was saying, music is everywhere, and it's one of those things that I've also realized this in this heated current situation of politics. Music is the one thing that will bind people together. It will bring people together from across. You might be sitting next to a Republican or another, opposite political person who has different views
Hmm.
about the world or how they see things. But when it comes to music, everybody's in the same room. You
It
know,
brings everyone together.
everybody's
Yeah.
in the same room, and
Yeah.
it is interesting because, in fact, I remember the One Love movie talking about I'm gonna say fella, but not fella.
Bob
Bob
Marley.
Marley.
Bob
Yeah, he
Marley.
brought the two
Yeah.
politicians up on stage, and then Fella didn't get the chance to do that because everyone in the political arena was against him. But
Gangster. Yeah.
he brought people's voices to the stage, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess, if I were to, close, what would you say is your, I guess, ultimate goal into what you want your music DJ career to do for you? And like you said, when it's all done, when you hang up your headphones, what do you say? I'm so proud I did this, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I'll say like leaving a legacy that I can always look back and remember that, I made people happy.
Mm.
For example, during the lockdown, during the COVID period, I had a show every Saturday night for 6 hours, and I'll
Wow.
tell you, yeah, yeah, for 6 hours every Saturday. It was on Mixcloud. Initially, it was on Instagram, then moved on to Mixcloud. And I'll tell you that, that really impacted loads of people's lives positively in sense
Mm.
that, well, everyone was home. You couldn't step out. So literally, it was similar to D Nice, DJ D Nice,
Yeah.
and stuff. But, it's that sort of thing that having that power to entertain people and to actually make people happy, and you getting messages and text messages after that, you don't know what you're doing to me, especially like
Mm.
the healthcare workers that were working nonstop
Oh,
in the
true.
hospitals. They had, most of my mixes in their headphones. And, I used to get tips on Cash App, because literally you couldn't move out. You couldn't step out of the house.
Yeah.
And so that sort of thing, looking back at it, thinking that, this journey, I'll say that that's one of the focal points of my career as well, being able to instill that happiness in people whilst we're going through a dark time. And so that was part of the legacy that I want to look back on maybe 10 years from now, or as long as I can go, and look back at it and say, I know that, yes, that I achieved something. At least I impacted people's lives. I made people happy on the dance floor. I brought lives, I was the life of the party, and I also created life one night as well, whereby people were dancing to my music, and the lady went into labor and successfully delivered the baby and stuff. So yeah, it just leaving a lasting legacy. So Harvey, I don't know if what your thoughts in this,
Mm.
what you want to look back on, being that you're a master in the game now, nearly 40 years DJing,
How
you
old
know.
are you anyway? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, hey, look, I just turned 60 years old, so I can't even front on that. I'm in the 60 club and
You're
feeling good about
35.
it.
You look 35, Harvey.
Oh, thank
You
you.
look.
You know what I'm saying? Because I try to get it in as much as I can. But
Hey, you're representing well.
yeah, thank you. This is an important question because a couple of things run through my mind. As soon as you said pandemic bio, it made
Yeah,
me remember
Yeah,
we did a series of birthday parties during the pandemic for
yeah,
people
that's
that
right.
wanted to celebrate their birthday where they were.
yeah,
We did a series of birthday parties. And Cannon, I think you came on to my New Year's Eve
Yeah, I
party.
did. Yeah, I remember that. I forgot
And
until now. Yeah, that's right.
it was in the middle of the pandemic.
Hmm.
Everybody's in their
yeah.
own house,
Standing up dancing.
Exactly.
standing
I
up
know.
jamming. And I had somebody call me after one of the parties and they say, my mother was downstairs and she said, I heard you jamming up there. You were dancing, you were laughing, you were having a good old time. And she said, because I was listening to DJ Haas. And
Yeah,
that's people. And I was able to look out and see everyone else dancing. So I felt comfortable dancing.
Mm.
So during that pandemic, that hits me, but also my kids. My son has a full DJ setup. He's at Penn State,
Really?
engineering major. He loves
wow.
music so much, he's got a full DJ setup in his room.
Oh,
He,
wow.
he came home for Christmas and said, Dad, can I borrow one of your subwoofers? I said, subwoofers in your room may have you lose some friends if you pumping that bass like that, but I'm gonna hook you up. I gave him one. My daughter is an MC. She writes
Wow.
rhymes and she performs and she makes songs and she makes up her own beats.
Hmm.
So to your point about legacy,
Yeah.
I'm trying to touch on, excuse me, I'm getting a little choked up. I'm trying to touch on all those worlds.
Mm.
Yeah,
I want to make sure that when I leave this earth, I'm leaving it a better place. I'm leaving it a happier place, and that I had impact on people. And at the end of the
Definitely.
night, when people come up and ask you for your business card, that's the greatest compliment. I
Mhm.
just did an elementary school party, and a young man, must have been in like fifth, sixth grade, came up to me and said, "Why do you DJ?" And I said, "Because I enjoy bringing joy to the room like I did today." And he looked at me and said, "I want to DJ." And I just gave him a fist bump, and I said, "My man, you know, next time I see you, I may let you get on."
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the power of music. That's the power of
Mhm.
That's the
music.
power. Yeah,
It's the
And
power of
that's
what you
why,
guys both do, and I want to say keep doing it. Like Bio says, as long as you can, because
yeah.
I think there is a need for bringing joy to people as much as possible. And I thank you guys both for being here and bringing joy to our audience and to me.
Definitely.
And keep doing it. Love you both.
It's a pleasure. It's a real
hold up. So
pleasure,
can we
Ken.
shout out our websites and stuff like that?
Oh, surely enough, you sure can.
All right, Bio, how can they reach you, man?
Yeah, you can reach me on djbio.com, www.djeejay.bio.com, or you can follow me on all socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat at DJ Bio, DEEJAY Bio and stuff. So yeah, I'm everywhere, man. Or TikTok as well. So it's DJ Bio,
Excellent.
DEEJAY Bio.
Excellent. Same here. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me at brandnewmediagroup.com. That's my company, brand new, like NU mediagroup.com. Or go to my Instagram, brand new media group, or just friend me on Facebook, Harvey Nunes. I'm down to talk. I'm down if you have any questions. If anyone has any questions about music or DJing, I'm always down to talk and always down to give insight.
And I'm Kenan Cooley.
Oh,
And I appreciate both of you being here and
thanks a lot,
keep
Kenan.
doing what you do. Be blessed.
Sure, sure.